If it is or if it ain't, it's gonna come out. Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Miracle Sims, and you're listening to God, Sex, and Love. Your daily dose of inspiration, the juice. It is May the 24th, 2023, and today the topic is to spend or to squander. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Happy Wednesday. I hope that you all had a terrific Tuesday. Mine was just fine. Mine felt kind of busy overall, y'all. After I did the juice yesterday, I did end up going to lunch. So shout out to Miss Karen Shirley. I know I'm putting her whole government out there, but shout out to her, an amazing lady and entrepreneur that I've known over the years, who has been such a blessing in my life, and everything like that. It's like she always considers me when it comes to like different things that she's working on and things like that. And yeah, and like I said, that has been a blessing to me, because it gives me, for example, like freelance work and things like that. So we met up for lunch yesterday, which she treated me to, so to God be the glory for that. It was at this place called Salada, and like this nice salad, bar type of place. And it was nice. The food was good, the place was nice, and the company was nice as well. So thank you, Miss Karen, for taking me out for lunch. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to do some freelance work for you and things like that. Yeah, that's pretty much after I did the juice. I mean, there was a couple of hours of downtime, or getting ready, and then I went out to do that. By the time I got back home, I had maybe like an hour, and then it was time for my son, NJ, to log in for his class. So he did that, and then after that, that's when I got on Miss Karen's task. So kind of like between like 5:30 to my husband's there like 9 or 10, I was working on that task, and he was trying to calculate, he was like, so technically, you made X, Y, and Z per hour, X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, hey, well, one, when you think about it, I did it from home. And yeah, you can't beat being in the comforts of home and able to still, work and stuff. And so, yeah, and then technically that number that he came up with wasn't correct, because that she gave me a partial payment and not a full payment. So to God be the glory for that as well. Like, the Lord be providing and things like that. So I'm thankful for each and every opportunity. So again, shout out to Miss Karen. I'm excited for her and her endeavors. She's another very inspiring lady. She's in her 50s and whatnot, and but I could see a lot of similarities between her and I in regards to like not just passions, but like being go-getters. Put it like that, being a go-getter, and things like that. So it's encouraging and inspiring to be amongst people that, are also believers, as well as quote unquote hustlers, or however you want to look at it. And so, yeah, so that's pretty much what my day looked like yesterday. And it felt kind of busy, with everything that I was doing and whatnot. But yeah. And so today is Wednesday. So let me go ahead and just put this out here. And whatnot. In a few hours, Sergeant Self-Care, my character from Mom Bomb, is supposed to be going live on their platforms as well. It's going to be on the Miracle Sims platform as well. I'm going to try my best to share on all of my social media platforms and whatnot. But yeah, Sergeant Self-Care will be going live at noon to do the Mom Bomb Boot Camp. So yeah, I mean, that's one thing that's happening today. And then tomorrow, y'all, we're supposed to be having biblical sex 1-on-1. So, I mean, the rest of the week is going to be kind of busy now that I sit here and think about it because, tomorrow is Thursday, so I'll be working at the church. And she has a class, and then I'm supposed to go live with, Biblical Sex 101. Friday, I know for sure, I think I have at least one interview scheduled for GSL. And then Saturday, I believe I'm supposed to do like my first in-person interview with someone on their podcast. So yeah, a lot of stuff going on at the end of this week for me and whatnot. And I'm thankful. I'm thankful for each and everything. And yeah, so I mean, I don't know if this is. I mean, I guess it's like a good segue or transition into this conversation. So this morning, I woke up early. I didn't pay attention to the time per se. I feel like it was around 4:30, but I don't know. Because I feel like I was up before then. All I know is I got up and then it was like I was not necessarily getting in work mode, but looking into some different things and yeah, I guess sowing a few seeds in regards to me and my endeavors and things like that. And so when I did go ahead and like settle my mind and get ready to do the prayer meditation and everything like that, well, you should know what I use at this point, y'all. But if not, if this happens to be your first time listening to me, what part of my routine in the morning is I get up and I listen to the Soul Space app. And it's a prayer meditation. It's a guided Christian guided prayer and meditation app or whatnot. And I've been doing this ever since the very beginning of me starting to juice. It's a part of my morning routine. And so I listened to that this morning. And as I was listening to it, overall, I felt good about the topic that they were talking about because they were talking about how, God notices me and all this different type of stuff and everything. But, well, one, I was getting distracted. And two, before it even started, in the intro of the piece today, the host or guide or whatever the case is, the guide is probably a better way to say it. The guide said quote, today is a day you've never lived before, and it is yours to spend or squander. And that really, really stood out to me this morning. So much so that it is the topic for today and everything like that. To spend or to squander. Now, listen, this ain't nothing new on here. Me trying to, I guess, encourage and inspire the next person to go forth and do the will of God and everything like that. And even as I reflected on myself and my own testimony and whatnot, I too am guilty of wasting time, and that's probably why you guys see me doing this every day, because it's like in some ways I feel like I might be making up for the lost time or the time that I squandered. So to spend or to squander today is not necessarily about money. It's more so about time. But I mean, you guys can think about it in whatever way the Lord leads you, to spend or to squander in whatever way. But to me, I'm more so referencing time right now. And I don't know what I feel like this is an ongoing thing of the week, really, because I know there's a verse that I know for sure I've read it at least at some point this week, or at least last week. I don't know, but and once again, I have this thing on my heart and mind reminding us that we think we have all the time, and it seems like we don't. I don't know why God keeps getting me to talk about this, but maybe whoever's listening to the sound of my voice needs to know that you may not have all the time that you think you have. And like the prayer meditation was telling me this morning, every new day is, a day that you can choose to spend or to squander. And so, let me share with you guys the things that I've come across this morning, and I hope that it will encourage and inspire you. So, of course, I ended up looking up the definitions of squander and spend. Yes, to be honest, the word squander stood out to me the most this morning. And this is what it had to say. It says waste something, especially money or time, in a reckless and foolish manner. That is what the word squander means. And y'all, I truly, truly hope that people that are listening to the sound of my voice are not squandering away their time, because, and like I said, I'm guilty as well. I'm not pointing no fingers at nobody and being like, oh, you're wasting your time, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I spent plenty, I wasted plenty of my time as well. Like, I wonder about that every now and then. Like, where would things be if I had, for example, kept going back in the day the way I'm going now when it comes to the YouTube thing, or like, I too wonder where things would be if things were a little bit different. But on the flip side, if you are listening to the sound of my voice and, we are in present times now, and truly if you are squandering away your time or not. I don't know who listens to me, right? I don't know you in your life personally, but you do. You and God know exactly how you spend your days and what you spend your time doing. And honestly, again, I feel like we're talking about this again, because wasn't the topic the other day? I'm just gonna flip through real quick to see if I can find it. I think might have been Saturday. What has your time and attention? That was on May 20th, y'all. What has your time and attention? Yes, you know what has your time and attention. And if you are going through each and every day and not making any moves, right? Not planting any seeds, not doing anything for the kingdom, like just across the board, like how you spend your times and your days and whatnot. And I hope that this encourages you and inspires you to choose a different route, to repent from that, turn around from that, and start to do something today. Because even if it's taking out time, like on one hand, I know I saw recently people talking about rest. And hey, by all means, y'all, hey, I'm Sergeant Self-Care too, right? So, I mean, yes, there's definitely time for resting and whatnot as well. So I'm not taking away from that message at all, because yeah, by all means, again, if you're somebody that's just working, and you're not taking any time or any break or whatever the case is, then that's not good either. So there's balance, right? There should be balance in your life. But I don't know, I guess I was just sharing all that to say, like, again, you know at the end of the day what your days look like, and what you're doing, and if you're doing anything or not, or the things that God has put on your heart to do for him, and whether you're doing that or not. And so again, I hope that these things encourage you and inspire you to do that, and to not continue to waste and squander your days and time away. Speaking of, let's talk about the word spend real quick. That definition, the one that stood out to me to share, says use up or pay out. And then when I looked up the definition of use, it says take hold or deploy something as a means of accomplishing a purpose or achieving a result. Employ. So, just between those two definitions, it definitely seems like it's more beneficial to spend, again, your time wisely, as well as spending your time, period. Like, I mean, again, I feel like I did listen to a couple of episodes of The Juice yesterday, and I kind of was talking about this last year or whatever, but in one of the episodes that I was listening to. But I'm reminded in this moment of one of the verses I was sharing, and I didn't write it down, but basically the verse is telling us that, if you sow a little bit, if you sow something, that still can bear fruit. So, you don't have to like get bogged down or feel like, man, oh, because I can't do a great big thing right now, then I should do nothing. Like, make a small move. I tell y'all this all the time. Like, when I share the testimony about the juice, the reason, or GSL and everything, is like the reason why I was able to go ahead and launch GSL in 2020 the way I did was because of the different small steps that I had made over the years. I already had the logo. I already had the Facebook page ready. I already had all these different things in place. So it literally was just making things public and starting to record when it came to doing the podcast back in 2020, and so the small moves matter too. You know what I mean? If you take one step, like they say, God will take two. That might not be Bible. That might just be a song. But still, I've seen that in my life, y'all. I've seen it in a variety of ways. And I know I haven't even really got into what the Bible got to say about all this. But I mean, hey, y'all, like, I don't know. Like I said, I just implore you to make a step, friend. Make the first step. Like I tell y'all all the time about, again, my first faith step of doing this whole thing was to wake up in the morning on April the 1st, 2020. Wake up at 4 a.m. for the first time and say, I'm going to share daily inspiration. You know what I mean? Like, and not knowing that I would be still doing it 3 years later, not knowing that I would be almost over 1,000 videos on YouTube, almost 1,000 videos of the juice by itself. You know, not knowing that I was going to meet all these different people from around the world, not knowing that I was going to be working with, what I call the International Dream Team, not knowing any of the other things, just stepping out on faith to make the first step and the first move, y'all. It's so powerful. It's just so much to it where it's like, I think this is why, again, the enemy used this tactic of like, oh, you got time. Oh, yes, and gets us procrastinating and doing things like that. And then next thing we know, a year has gone by and we're still in the same place. It's just no fruit from that, So we got to start doing some different things, y'all. We got to start making some moves and stuff. And if you're listening to the sound of my voice and you've gotten this far, whatever the case is, then, hey, this message is for you, friend. Like, again, where you are in your life. And so here go some verses that I hope will encourage and inspire you, y'all. So, Psalm 90 and 12, it says, so teach us to number our days that we may get a heart of wisdom. That verse stood out to me to share this morning. I ended up going deeper and reading the verses that was centered around it. And it doesn't necessarily have to do with squandering time or things like that. But I just felt like there was just really something powerful in that statement. Teach us to number our days that we may get a heart of wisdom. I think perhaps if we live, not living like you only live once, but living like you don't know the day nor the hour. Like the Bible tells us, we don't know the day nor the hour of when our life is going to end. We don't know the day nor the hour when Jesus is coming back. We don't know the day or the hour when it comes to a lot of different things. And so if we live like we don't know, like Jesus might be coming back tomorrow, that would really affect one's life. A person that lives like that, knowing that, okay, well, Jesus could come back tomorrow. And so I need to get on my job, X, Y, and Z. Like, whatever it takes to motivate you, friend. Like, I don't know. It's just very interesting. Like, I've observed different people over the years and things like that. And for me, I would say sometimes the opposite thing motivates me, right? If someone don't think I can do something, that might motivate me to do it. Or, or some people need the extra cheering on or whatever, or encouragement. Knowing that someone is in my corner cheering me on can also encourage me to move and do some things. Again, I don't know what each and every person needs and stuff like that. But again, I hope all of these things can be encouraging and motivating today, y'all, because time is a ticking. And I mean, even yesterday, Miss Karen was saying like, oh, man, this month is almost done. And I'm like, it really has been flying. The years have been flying by. The days, the years, the minutes. And it's just, I don't know. I don't know what else to tell y'all, man, in regards to that. But it's just something I've noticed, that it does seem like time is flying. So, and next thing you know, like, again, you can look up and you're still in the same place. Like, yeah. I mean, again, like I was there, man. Look, the cultivation period is all about me and my struggle, man. And I had to get to the place mentally to be like, you know what? I have to do something different now. I have to, I know some things I want to see in my life. I know some, I know what I want to have and things like that. And I have to move accordingly, like sometimes they say, fake it till you make it, that's one of the a showbiz quote. But, sometimes, you have to walk in your purpose even before, you get the quote unquote accolade or the support or whatever the case is. Like, if I didn't present myself as a host and a podcast or whatever the case is, then how we wouldn't be here now with all the different accomplishments that GSL has had. Like, I had to present myself as that thing and walk in that regardless of anything else. And so again, I don't know which thing's gonna motivate you, y'all, but I'm trying all of them, man. I'm trying all the things to motivate you this morning. Let's keep going, y'all. We got Ephesians 5:15 through 17. It says, look carefully then how you walk, not as unwise, but as wise, making the best use of time, because the days are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the will of the Lord is. How many times have I read that over the past few weeks, man? I don't know. I feel like I, not say every day, but I mean, I feel like I have read this over and over and over again. But still, it's something fresh and new about it, because at the end of the day, when talking about this whole idea of squandering your time and things like that, well, let's not be unwise in this. If we know that we spent all day yesterday resting, and relaxing, then today let's get up and make a move. You know what I mean? Let's get up and, sow a seed. Like, the least you could do is write down the goals and visions that God gives you. That's the least that we can do. Like, that's a start. That's something. At least you're writing the vision and making it plain, instead of keeping it in your heart and mind and never moving on it in any way. Again, there's a time for rest and there's a time for work. And, yeah, even though, for example, yes, it took time for me to go to lunch with Miss Karen, right? It took time for me to, listen to her and what she needed for her project, right? It took time for me to pull it together for her and do all those things. But I felt like those things were all each seeds that were flourishing to, again, continue to cultivate our relationship together as business partners, or whatever the case may be, or her client or my client, or however you want to say. It cultivates that. So it's a seed sown into our continued relationship. It's a seed sown into, financially for me, in regards to, this is work for me to do. I did the work. She's compensating me for the work. It just goes on. And I don't know what's going to motivate people, right, to get to that, to do that thing. Like, is it the compensation part? Is it the relationship part? I don't know, y'all. I'm just, again, like I said, I'm trying all the things this morning, y'all. We're going to try all the things to motivate us this morning to be willing to sow a seed into, especially into the things of God. Yeah, you can sow it into your business endeavors and stuff like that too. I hope that you guys are motivated to do that as well. But when it comes to the things of God, like, that's on a whole nother level too, because you're going to see him take care of you in ways that your job never could. And so, all right, let me go on back to some verses, y'all. So then we got 1 Peter 4:3. It says, for the time is past, suffices for doing what the Gentiles want to do, living in sensuality, passions, drunkenness, orgies, drinking parties, and lawless idolatry. What I received here when I read and wrote that down this morning is the time has passed for those things. That was the past, y'all. That is the past. Now it's time to move forward. And speaking of moving forward, let me go ahead and share this verse right here, y'all. Hebrews 10:12. It says, sow for yourselves righteousness, reap steadfast love, break up your fellow ground, for it is the time to seek the Lord, that he may come and rain righteousness upon you. So if you put those two verses together, I believe that's again, it's a call. It's like one of those, hey, it's like a clear message from the Lord that, hey, drunken parties, orgies, all that type of stuff might have been your past. But at the end of the day, you can start sowing some seeds of righteousness, and the Lord will, it says here, come and rain a righteousness upon you, upon your seeds, upon what you have sown. Like, again, it's time out for the things of the past. And it's time to move forward into righteousness and the things of God. And that's ultimately the juice this morning, y'all. Listen, the Go Deeper section, for those that are listening to the sound of my voice and you have been encouraged, inspired, you motivated, in X, Y, and Z, because you know, right, that you know in your heart that you ain't made no moves. You know in your heart that you've been in a place of stagnicity or anything like that. If that's you, friend, if that's you this morning, the Go Deeper section is dedicated to you. Now, you might not like it. It might be all kind of verses, centered around things you might not like. I call that pulp. It might be a section full of pulp. But what I hope it does is it encourages you and inspires you to not be like those verses talk about, in just a sneak peek. I mean, for those that may not even go and look at the verses, whatnot. I mean, yes, this represents sluggers. This represents all those different things. Those verses that are dedicated to individuals in that place. Again, I hope it encourages you and inspires you, y'all. Like I said, that's the juice. Y'all can go deeper and let these things marinate on your heart, souls, and minds. But the Bible verse of today is Colossians 3:12. It says, "Put on, therefore, as the elect, God, holy and beloved, the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering." Yep, that's the juice, y'all. Those are the verses. Again, yo guys, I share the verses so y'all can go and read them and make sure I'm reading them right, because I know the past couple of verses I just stumbled on a little bit. So a couple of words might not be right. I don't know, it depends. But y'all can go and check it out for yourself. Again, I hope that you all are encouraged and inspired, because like I said, it's the juice. And yeah, man, y'all have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, y'all. I look forward to talking to y'all tomorrow if the Lord's will. Bye-bye.
Everyone is stuck at home, but life is still happening around us every day. Birthdays, anniversaries, holidays, and celebrations. Send your friends and family the gift of wine from the comforts of home. Wine shop at home with Miracle of Wine. Wine, gift baskets, wine accessories, and more at miracleofwine.com.